there any other nominations for president? Last call for nominations. Okay. Then all in favor of Margaret Kelso for President of the Board of Education for a term January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay. Ayes have it. At this time, I will turn the board meeting over to President Kelso.
Thank you, and thank you, board members. Moving on, we have a nomination for remaining officers. First office, next office would be the office of Vice President. Looking for nomination.
I nominate Chris Furtaw.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Oh, Chris, do you accept that?
Yes.
Any other nominations? Okay, hearing none. For the nomination of Vice President for Chris Furtaw, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries 6-1. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
Next. Is Secretary next?
Secretary.
Is that the next? The office, nomination for the office of Secretary.
I nominate Ryan Hedberg.
Ryan, do you accept?
Yes.
Any other nominations? Nobody? Okay. For the office of Secretary, for Ryan, all those in favor, aye.
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 Sorry, opposed?
Nay.
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 So that was, Sarah, did you say aye?
I said aye.
Dave, did you say aye?
Yes, I did.
Ryan, did you say aye?
Yes, I did.
Kyle, did you say aye?
I did.
Okay. Congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you.
Moving on to the Office of Treasurer. Looking for a nomination for the Office of Treasurer.
I'd like to nominate Kyle Simmons.
Kyle, do you accept the nomination?
I do.
Any other nominations? Okay, hearing none. For the Office of Treasurer for Kyle, all those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Kyle, congratulations. Okay, next, motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second?
Is that Dave?
Yes.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Next, moving on to the appointment of financial institutions. Brian?
We currently have our finances with PNC Bank, with the exception of a CD, which is at the First State Bank for the Golden Apple Scholarship. I'm recommending to the board that you continue the business partnership with PNC Bank and First State Bank for our general fund accounts, as well as the CD for the Golden Apple at First State Bank.
Okay, there's a sample resolution.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve PNC Bank and First State Bank as the district's financial institutions.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next, appointment of auditors. Brian?
We've had Yo and Yo CPA and business consultants for the district auditors for several years. They do an excellent job. They're very thorough and accurate. I'm recommending to the board that we continue using Yo and Yo CPA and business consultants as the district's financial auditors.
There's a sample resolution.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve Yo and Yo CPAs and business consultants as the district's financial auditors.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next, appointment of attorneys. Brian.
We have a list of attorneys that the district calls upon when needed. Collins and Blah, PC, O'Reilly Rensselaer, PC, Seacrest and Seacrest and Wardy, and the Troon Law. Collins and Blaha and Troon Law have a lot to do with the professional staff, though Troon Law we use for special education, our bonds, etc. O'Reilly Rensselaer typically has been used with the sale of property investments, board policies, etc., though they all can do the different aspects of the company. So I'm recommending keeping the 4 attorney law firms on retainer for the district's attorneys.
Okay, there's a sample resolution.
I think you're the only one that
I would
has
read it,
the
my computer's not
presentation.
cooperating.
Yeah.
Me as well.
Yeah, I think you're the only one that has a printed packet.
Oh, all right.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and approve Collins and Blaha, PC, O'Reilly Rensselaer, PC, Seacrest Wardle, and Troon Law as Richmond Community Schools legal counsel. Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, establishing of board meeting dates and times. Brian?
We've gone to the second and fourth Monday of the month for the last couple of years. The recommendation is to continue that. You'll notice in the attached calendar, there would be no meeting on May 28th, as that's Memorial Day, or in the month of July, or December 24th, as that is Christmas Eve. So I would request that the board continue the second and fourth Monday of the month.
Okay, there's a sample resolution.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and establish the second and fourth Monday of each month at 7 p.m. in the Media Center of Richmond High School as the regular scheduled meetings of the Richmond Community School Board of Education as indicated in the attached documentation.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next, designation of location for posting public notice in meetings. Brian?
I am recommending to the board that we continue posting the board's meetings and the schedule at each of the buildings, on the district website, and on the high school marquee.
Okay, there's a sample resolution.
I motion to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and establish the location for posting public notices and meetings on the district website, high school marquee, and in each building.
Second.
Tracy. Okay, it has been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Next, appointment of board members to legislative committees.
There are 3 appointments in this action item. The first one is to the Michigan Association of School Board Legislative Relations Network. We submit the name to the Michigan Association of School Board. They become a contact. Typically, those members in other districts that are this represented, if they wish, and the board supports it, attend the national legislative forum. It's usually in January that they go. The second and third nominations are for the local Macomb County School Board Association's Legislative Committee, which I believe meets around the second Tuesday of the month, or roughly once a month. And then the third would be an alternative to the Macomb County School Board Association Legislative Committee. So if number 2 can't is unable to attend, and number 3 could go in his or her spot.
Okay. Well, let's start with the first one, the representative to the Michigan Association of School Boards Legislative Relations Network. Looking for a nomination, or looking for someone who says, yeah, I want to do that. Nobody wants to do it?
That was, what was the commitment for that one? The first one was just as necessary?
The
Correct.
first one, yeah, they don't typically meet regularly. It's if there's a need, or maybe you're the liaison that funnels it to the board if there's a.
I would be happy to do that.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to appoint Chris as that person?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and supported that Chris be the MASB Legislative Relations Network representative. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, a nomination for someone to be the Macomb County School Board Association Legislative Committee representative. Anybody want to volunteer?
That's what, once
once a month.
on Tuesdays?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
What time
the-
does that generally meet?
It's usually, I want 6 or 6:30?
6:30.
6:30 at the MISD typically.
And if you miss a month, is it like pivotal to the organization?
They take away your birthday?
No, if you miss, because
okay.
most of, at the county dinner meetings,
Uh-huh.
there's all that update, and Brian gets that, or me, or whoever goes with that, so it's like, you know, if you don't go, someone's gonna get the information at that monthly meeting.
I also get it at the superintendent's meeting.
I mean, I wouldn't mind volunteering for it, but I know that there could possibly be a time when I would not be able to
Would you like to be
attend
the
a meeting.
alternative and I'll go for it?
That would be wonderful.
All right, let's do that.
That would be super.
Okay, so since Dave has volunteered, would someone like to make a motion to have him be the County School Board Association?
I will make the motion to
Okay.
have Dave be the representative for the Macomb County School Board Legislative Representative position.
Looking for someone to support that?
Support.
Okay, it has been moved and supported. Any discussion?
This is the committee that has the address wrong
Yes.
consistently, so they're sending things to my address and Ryan's name. So we've asked for that to be changed, so that would just need to be verified, I guess, again, with them, with Sue
Yeah.
Trombley.
Yeah, we had, Ryan, it was going to Tracy's, and I had made contact with Sue Trombley, and I don't know if it ever got changed.
No,
don't know
I
if
just
it
got
ever
one in the
anything
mail
to your
last
house.
I've been getting stuff to my house. I've been getting stuff for Dave as well at my house. But
I will send them not only to Sue John, but also Mike DeVault's office, because a lot of times that goes out through his office, so between Terry and I, we'll try to correct it.
And, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe just as a side note, just to make sure everybody's addresses are correct.
Yep, because I was the person at
Right.
one point for that
Right.
committee, so I think that it's just kind of gotten
Okay.
messed up in that, so.
Okay, it has been moved and supported that Dave will be the Legislative Committee representative. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? What'd she say? Aye. It's hard because it's such a delay. All right, motion carried. Next, an alternate for the County School Board Legislative Committee.
I make a motion that Chris Furtaugh is the alternate for Macomb County School Board Association Legislative Committee.
Support?
Okay, it's been moved and supported for Chris to be the alternate. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries, and we are adjourned at 7:01 from our organizational meeting.
I took you off, so are you still with the next meeting, or just the organization?
could be anybody.
Okay, all right, thank you. Safe travel.
Okay, I'm going to call our regular Board of Education meeting to order. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next, our mission statement. Ryan?
At Richmond Community Schools, we provide a quality education that empowers students to be successful in a global community.
Roll call.
Kyle?
Here.
Margaret?
Here.
Sarah?
She's absent with notice.
Chris?
Here?
Dave?
Here?
Tracy?
Here.
And I am here.
Okay. Okay, next, need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion?
On the consent agenda for the personnel report, there was a revised one, the location in Richmond High School. Out of respect for this individual, I would like the public to announce that, as this individual would like time to talk to the students and staff. We did get a resignation. Ashley Evert, the kindergarten teacher, resigned prior to the break. Once she had submitted her notice, we began the interview process, and I'm pleased to introduce you to Eric Stevenson over here as our new kindergarten teacher. He began January 3rd. He was in there on the second setting up. I think he's going to be a great addition to the Lee staff and team, so I want to welcome.
Stand up for us, Eric. Welcome.
Thank you guys so much, man. I'm excited, thrilled, and honored to be joining this fraternity of great teachers. Everyone so far has been an amazing help to me, and it's just been a wonderful transition so far.
Excellent. Good. Glad to
Welcome.
have
Welcome.
Glad you're
I also had some questions regarding claims and accounts, from board member Worth. The first one was regarding check number 46500, Troon Law Firm. This bill was for various phone conversations that I had with the attorneys, not only Robert, but also some of the other attorneys in his office. It dealt with the separation agreement that was approved by the board in December for the individual and creating the legal documents and the research behind it. It also was some legal opinions that were prepared for the board that you reviewed at a previous board meeting. And it was also a telephone call with the board for one of our meetings. Does that answer? If I didn't
Yes,
answer your
that's fine.
questions,
Thank you.
Check number 46612. This was for an invoice for O'Reilly Rancilio. This dealt with the building use agreement with the Regional Youth Initiative. There was a couple of telephone calls that we went back and forth on. Some of the bills were for the surplus property that at one point was on the market, and the communication with the potential buyer for that property. It also was the attending of the attorney attending some of the board meetings that were previously during that billing cycle. Check number 46618, Seacrest, Wardy and Lynch. This was part of the lawsuit where the districts, the state of Michigan district sued the state for requiring certain things unfunded, which violated the Headley Amendment, or the Constitution that basically says that the state's requiring it, they need to fund it. It's our portion of the bill. It's a quarterly bill. This quarter's bill was $60.65. It's anticipated that our last payment will be within about another year and a half on this settlement lawsuit.
Do you know, what's the total amount that we're paying on that?
Well, the lawsuit originally was entered, I believe, in 2012. Was November 6, 2012, the judgment was made. And so we've been paying roughly 240 since 2012, so let's say 250 if you round up. For 12, 13, about 6, 7, 8 years now will be our payment over the course of this lawsuit.
Thank you.
The next question that came was check number 46503 for Welsh Enterprises invoices. This was the billboard advertisement on Gratiot. We entered into a 6-month contract with them, and then we have another month on that contract to see whether we want to renew it or go in a different direction. But as part of the advertising campaign for School of Choice, we did that, the lawn signs, etc. So that was what the Welsh's Enterprising invoice was for. Check number 46517, Flower Carousel. The middle school builders club sold Christmas wreaths during the holiday season, and then this is the payment we had to make for our portion of the wreaths, and then the difference in what they sold in our payment is the profit that went to the builders club at the middle school. Check number 46499, Stadium Systems Incorporated. This was for football helmet reconditioning. Every year we send out our football helmets to be inspected, reconditioned, painted, fixed up if needs to be fixed up, or replaced if needs to be replaced. So this was for for 83 helmets, and all the inspection and the testing that goes along with them to make sure our athletes are safe. We just happened to get the bill later, but it was they typically go out over the summer so that they're ready for in August when the practice starts. Check number 46573. This was it's a purchase service for the Michigan Rehabilitation and Transition Services. It's a cash match grant. And basically, if we commit, in this particular case, it was $5,000. The federal government to this company or to this organization will give them $10,000 for every match. What this program does for any special education student in grades 9 through 12, it assigns a rehabilitation transition counselor to them to work with them on transitioning from high school to either the world beyond high school. It could be job shadowing, field trips, it could be planning for careers if they're going on to college, etc. They actually come in and work with our students on that aspect. Check number 46601. We had a bus windshield that had a crack in it. If the crack or damage is in the wiper blade area, the Michigan State Police require it to be replaced. If it's outside of the wiper blade area, it just needs to be repaired. In this case, this needed to be replaced for a total of $642.93. And then the second check, or the last one, 46627, was to Richmond Glass to actually install the damaged windshield.
So that wouldn't be covered under insurance?
The deductible for the insurance on an automobile is typically, Tammy, do you know that? I'm going to say it's around $5,000. We can find the deductible. Typically, it's not covered under the insurance at that rate, so our deductible would be higher, but we can find that out specifically. I don't remember that off the top.
Thank you very much.
And that was all the questions that I received.
Okay. Terry, I just had for the December 11th board meeting, the vote for the amendment to the superintendent's contract, just add my name to the ayes. It says motion 5-2, but it doesn't, it only has 6 people's names. So if you just add mine to the ayes, then that would work. Okay, anybody else? Okay, it has been moved and supported. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next is our public comment. It's the portion of our meeting that if someone would like to address the board, they may do so. You can come up to the podium. There should be a card up there if you wanted to leave your name and phone number, if you had a question that needs to be answered. You have 3 minutes to speak. Ms. not a question and answer period at this time, but someone will get back to you if you have an issue. Is there anyone that would like to address the board? No? Okay. Next is Haley's report. Obviously, she's not here.
I did not get a report from her.
I didn't either. Okay. All right, we have no report since Haley is here. We'll move on to Brian, Superintendent Legislative Update.
That's your screen. Okay. I apologize, the screen that's up there was Chris's screen, so I can't show you. So, that's all right.
Why you said that?
We will,
Do you want to use this?
we will be
Okay.
flexible, we make do,
All
right?
right, yeah.
All right, this coming Monday, Richmond Community Schools will be represented at the Dr. Martin Luther King Holiday Celebration Dinner. We have students, the administrators, and Board Member Furtado has agreed to go. It's at Dakota High School, beginning at 6:30. It's a wonderful celebration. It marks the 31st annual. For the last 4 years, we've had a presence as Richmond Community Schools. We have a table sponsorship this year, as well as our school will be recognized in the programming on the screens.
How many people are going all together?
From the district?
Yes.
Oh, there's
10. There's 10. There's a table of 10 people.
Very good.
So at the elementary school and middle school, we have a parent and student that are going. And then at the high school, a student is going. She's driving by herself. Or actually, I think she may be driving with Miss Michon. I'm not sure. They're going to drive together. What I wanted to show you is more of an update. As you know, the legislators are back in session. In 2016, the FY16 budget, there was a study called the Governor's 21st Century Education Commission. And this study was an attempt to figure out what does it cost to educate a student in the state of Michigan. And at that time when the study was released and the executive order was issued on March 28, 2016, it resulted in approximately 50 some odd page report. And if anybody would like to read it, I do have a copy of that report. But in summary, when you look at what this report said for Richmond Community Schools, it basically said, when you did the cost analysis, that Richmond Community Schools is underfunded over $1,000 per pupil. That according to this report, we should be getting $1,000 more per pupil to educate the student for cost. From that report, obviously, I'm going to make, this is my opinion, I'm assuming it did not make policymakers happy because it showed that districts across the state of Michigan are underfunded. With costs going up and rising and our increases each year aren't even at the rate of inflation, it becomes more and more challenging for boards as well as the organization to adjust for that. Recently, about a year ago, there was a bipartisan collaboration of businesses, educators, that took this report and are now going to the next level. And it was called the School Finance Research Collaboration. And it is representatives from Metro Detroit all the way to the UP that are looking at two different methodologies that have been proven in, I believe it's I want to say 37 states, that determine what does it cost to educate a student, with the idea that this final report is going to narrow it down, because what the governor's report failed to do was address issues with poverty, second language learners, and the social aspects that as a school system we deal with. So I give you this document, and I just took it right from the website, so this is all copy and paste, but I wanted to give you at least a condensed version. You can see on the page 4, you'll see starting the membership on this committee. And on page 4, you'll see the second one, Tanya Allen. And if you were able to attend about a year ago at Romeo Schools, the Macomb County School Board Association dinner, She spoke at that, and she spoke about districts being underfunded, and she's the president and CEO of the Skillman Foundation. As you keep looking through this, you'll see this represents a cross-section of the education community, from public schools to private schools to charter schools, from the colleges to the ISD level to local districts. As you keep going through and you look at the steering committee and technical committee members, you'll notice that the Macomb Intermediate School District is a vital piece of this committee. Paul Bodilla, who I have the utmost respect for from a financial and true cost, is providing information to this committee, the real story, in terms of what it costs when you look at public schools, private schools, and then charter schools, et cetera. You'll also see some of these representatives are from the online schooling industry. As you keep going, I listed several, and if you'd like, I'll be more than happy to send this to you because these are all linked, but the various press releases regarding this. I bring this to you today because within the next couple of days, this committee's report is going to be released. And it's going to, the preliminary document that I was able to see is very similar to the governor's report. The only thing I would say that this report does over the 21st century is it validates in a nonpartisan way what the cost of educating students are. We know our special education population costs more to educate, but we are not being funded to educate them. We know a student that's in a poverty or an at-risk situation costs more to educate. And when you look at the makeup of our districts across the state, you will see various districts that have a high poverty rate. There is a correlation trend that the higher the poverty rate, the lower your test scores are, and vice versa. It is a stark correlation. So at the next board meeting, one of the things that I am going to request that the board do is adopt a resolution supporting this School Finance Research Collaborative, because I feel it's critical that, and most Macomb County school districts, if not all, are in the process of adopting this resolution, to say we need to restructure school funding. We have to adequately fund schools. And the only way to do that is through a bipartisan way where you have policymakers who are committed that if we want to improve the economy of Michigan, we've got to have an educated workforce. And I'm not saying at all that we are not educating, because our staff, our teachers, our support staff give countless hours to the students here. You go in on any Sunday, you can see teachers in their classroom. You go in at 6 o'clock in the morning, you will see teachers in their classroom. They are dedicated to do whatever it is they need to do for educating our students. But the state has to step up. And so this is one of the resolutions. I'm going to give you a copy of the resolution that I would like you to at least look at. If you have any questions in the next 2 weeks, feel free to contact me. But it basically takes a stand that we have to, we can no longer nickel and dime how we fund public education. We must seriously reset and restructure the way public schools are funded so that we are adequately funding school to meet all of our students' needs. I want to thank the parents and staff for their patience last week when it was, we had some bitterly cold weather. I did get a couple calls just for the listening audience. There's a lot of factors that go into when and if I call a day of school. If snow, we look at the amount of snow, whether the streets have been plowed, the back roads, particularly in our area. When we look at cold weather, our initial threshold is a minus 20 degrees wind chill. However, we look at it within a couple degrees of that. I did get a couple calls on Thursday because it was a little colder than it was on Wednesday, but it actually warmed up from the time I called. So we do take a lot of consideration. We want to make sure kids are safe, parents are safe. I realize the snow does cause problems with driving, and I want to thank the parents who slow down who drive a little more cautious in the parking lot with kids. It's very easy for kids, especially if they're excited leaving school or coming to school, and they run. Just take your time in the weather. So with that, that is all I have.
Okay, thank you. Next, items of interest from members of the board. Does anyone have anything?
Had a chance to attend the middle school and high school choir concert in the auditorium. It was very well done, very unique. They had everyone kind of rotate around, so it really wasn't a bad seat in the house. So if you were there to watch somebody in particular, sooner or later they were by you, and it was very well done.
We had a big tournament on Friday at the high school. It was a cheer tournament. And I think they had like 14 or 17 schools in attendance, and I just
30,
wanted
37.
30. Oh, was it really that many? Wow, it didn't seem like it.
37.
But it was crazy, and it was really busy, but it was very well run. And I want to just give a shout out to our administrators of the building, because I saw them working diligently, both our AD and our principal, and they did a phenomenal job to keep things moving, and working with the coaches and just working with the kids, and it was nice to see them, and they had smiles on their faces while doing it. So I wanted to thank them for it.
And they were here well before it began, because I was here
Yes.
around what would have been lunchtime, and both of them were in the building and ready to go. So thank you.
Anybody else?
I also believe that this, just to go back to the school finance research, the last weekend in February, I think it is, the Michigan Association of School Boards has their winter education weekend. This is a part of it. They're going to be doing something that weekend, I believe. It's a 3-hour, and it's about this as well from a school board perspective too. So I just thought I would put that out there, and I'm not quite sure where that takes place. It might be Mount Pleasant. I
Yeah,
think.
or Lansing.
The
Something,
video that I
one or
was
the
going to
other.
show is on that website, so if you want to get a look at the video, go to the website. There's 2 videos. They're very informative on the process, and you know, it's what I believe our best opportunity in this political arena, because it is not partisan. It's a bipartisan effort
Right.
to change the way we fund schools.
Anybody else? Martin, if you pass those down. I just have a couple of things for everyone. Just a copy of the Open Meetings Act, and then a copy of this Open Meetings Act handbook. This is Brian and mine handy-dandy cheat sheet, if you will. So I just thought I'd give everybody a copy of it so they could see, first off, the Open Meetings Act, and then what we do when we're putting together different closed sessions, whatever, but so it'll be a reference point for everybody to have. Okay, next, a motion to go into closed session for purposes of a student discipline hearing.
So moved.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are going into closed session, and we will return. We're back in open session, and our next action item is regarding our discipline hearing. And Chris, you have a motion?
I do. Student 010818 shall be expelled from Richmond Community Schools for a period of 180 days. Student 010818 may petition the Board of Education for reinstatement to Richmond Community Schools on or before January 8th, 2019. The Board directs the superintendent to formulate an interim alternative educational setting for student 010818 at an off-site location.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Any discussion?
Great.
I just wanted for the record to clarify, the off-site is one of the a building that's not the elementary school, not the middle school, not the high school.
Correct.
But it's still a school building.
Yes. Okay, it's been moved and supported. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned at 8:35.